I'm Dr. John Dabach, and I answer your questions about relationships. We got an email in from Megan in Denver, Colorado. Dear John, my husband lost his job over a year ago and hasn't seriously looked for another one since. I'm working, managing the house, and taking care of the kids while he says he's figuring things out. When I bring it up, he gets defensive or shuts down. I'm starting to feel more like his parent than his partner. How long do you wait before enough is enough? Megan, you already know the answer to this question, you just don't like it. You're not asking me how long to wait, you're asking me if you're allowed to stop waiting, and the answer is yes. You've waited long enough. A year is not a rough patch. A year is a lifestyle. A year is a pattern. A year is him showing you exactly who he is right now, not who he used to be, not who he promised he'll be, not who he thinks he might become if he starts to align with the stars and the perfect opportunity drops out of the sky. This is who he is right now. And right now, he's not showing up as a husband. He's not showing up as a father. And he's absolutely not showing up as a partner. You're carrying everything financially, emotionally, logistically. You're doing the job of two adults while living with someone who's functioning like a dependent. And I don't say that to be cruel. I say that because if you don't call it what it is, you're going to keep minimizing it. You'll keep telling yourself, well, he's going through something, or maybe he just needs more time, or I don't want to be unsupportive. Meanwhile, you're drowning. And here's the piece a lot of people miss. This isn't just about money. This is about respect. This is about effort. This is about whether or not he's willing to stand up and take responsibility for his role in this family. Because plenty of people lose jobs. That happens. Good men lose jobs. Responsible men lose jobs. That's not the issue. The issue is what happens next. Do they panic a little, get back on the horse, take something beneath them? If they have to, Uber, DoorDash, part-time, something, anything to contribute while they figure out the next step? Or do they sit there and drift into this weird limbo where every day looks the same? There's no urgency, no pressure, no movement. Just talk about figuring things out with no actual figuring happening. Because let me translate. I'm figuring things out. What does that mean? Let me translate it for you. It often means I don't want to face reality yet. It means I'm avoiding the discomfort of failing, so I'm staying in this in-between space where I can still tell myself that I have potential without actually having to prove anything. And that is a dangerous place. It's comfortable, too comfortable. And comfort is the enemy here. Because as long as he's comfortable, nothing changes. Why would it? The bills are getting paid, the house is running, the kids are taken care of, there's no real consequence to his action, or inaction, I should say. You've essentially created a system where he can opt out, and the machine just keeps on running. And again, I'm not blaming you. You did what a lot of good partners do. You stepped up, you carried more when things got hard. That's admirable. That's what love looks like in the beginning of a crisis. But somewhere along the line, stepping up turned into enabling. And enabling doesn't look like kindness. It looks like resentment. It looks exactly what you said. Feeling like a parent instead of a partner. And that dynamic will kill your attraction. It will kill your respect for him. And eventually it'll kill the relationship. Because nobody wants to sleep with their child. Nobody wants to be in love with someone that they have to manage, motivate, monitor. That's not marriage. That's a caretaking arrangement. So now we get to the hard part. What do you actually do about it? Because talking hasn't worked. You've brought it up, he gets defensive or he shuts down. That tells me he's either overwhelmed, ashamed, or avoiding. Probably a mix of all three. But here's the thing. His feelings about it do not change the reality of it. You could be compassionate about why he's stuck without accepting that he stays stuck. Those are two different things. You could say, I understand this is hard for you, and I'm not going to carry this alone anymore. That's where boundaries come in. Not ultimatums to control him, but boundaries to protect you. And yes, sometimes they sound the same on the surface, but the energy is different. An ultimatum says, you better change or else. A boundary says, I'm going to change what I do if this doesn't change. So what does that look like here? It looks like you sitting down with him, not in the middle of a fight, not when you're already resentful and about to explode, but at a calm moment, and say something very clear. This situation is not sustainable. I can't continue to be the only adult carrying this family. I need to see consistent Measurable effort toward employment starting now. Not next month, not when you feel ready, now. And that doesn't mean your dream job. That means any job. Because right now, the job is not about fulfillment. The job is about responsibility. It's about re-entering the world. It's about rebuilding momentum. It's about showing me that you're willing to contribute in any way necessary while you figure out the long-term plan. And then you give a timeline, a real one. Not vague, not open-ended, specific. In the next 2 weeks, I need to see applications going out every day. Within the next month, I need to see interviews happening or some form of income coming in. If that doesn't happen, I'm going to start making decisions that protect myself and the kids financially and emotionally. And yes, that might include separating. And here's where you have to get very honest with yourself. You can't say that unless you are willing to follow through, that you're going to do any of this stuff. You can't say any of it because empty threats will make this worse. He will learn that you don't mean what you say, and the pattern will continue. So don't go nuclear unless you're prepared to actually go there. But also, don't keep living like this because you're afraid of being the bad guy. You're not the bad guy for asking your partner to act like a partner. You're not the bad guy for saying enough is enough. In fact, you're the only one in this situation acting like an adult right now. And I want to speak to him for a second, even though he's not the one who wrote in. Sir, if you were sitting in front of me, I would tell you this directly. Get off the couch. Get out of your head. Stop waiting for the perfect opportunity. Your wife is burning out. Your kids are watching this. You're teaching them what a man does when things get hard. And right now, the lesson that you're teaching is not a good one. Pride is killing you here. The idea that a job is beneath you is killing you because there's nothing beneath you about providing for your family. There's nothing beneath you about showing up, even if it's not glamorous, even if it's not what you imagined. In fact, that's where real character is built. You don't build character when everything lines up perfectly. You build it when you take the job you don't want because your family needs you to. You build it when you push through the shame and the discomfort and you move anyway. And if you don't, you lose more than just income. You're going to lose your wife's respect. And once that goes, it is very, very hard to get it back. Megan, this is the moment where you decide what kind of life you're willing to live, because if you do nothing, this becomes your normal. Another year passes, then another, and suddenly you look up and you're 5 years in, exhausted, resentful, and completely disconnected, wondering how the heck you got here in the first place. Where you draw a line now, not in anger, not in spite, but in clarity. This is not acceptable. This is not the marriage I signed up for, and I'm not going to participate in it anymore unless it changes. That is not harsh. That's just being honest. And honesty is the only thing that has a shot at waking this up. If you have a question you want me to answer, there's a link in the description to submit it to me. And don't forget to like and subscribe.